Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating concept that can completely change how you see the world: Black Swan events. These are rare, unpredictable events with massive consequences. From financial crashes to technological failures, they're all around us. Stick around to find out why we might all be living in a world more vulnerable to black swans than ever before. Let's get into it. You are the chicken, imagine this. You're a chicken. Yes, you. Every day your owner feeds you, takes care of you, and keeps you safe. At first you're skeptical. What if he's fattening you up for the slaughterhouse? But as days turn into months and months into years, you begin to trust him. Surely if he had bad intentions, he would have acted by now. 1,000 days pass like this. You're comfortable, content, even grateful. Then on day 1001, your world shatters. Your owner, the one you trusted the most, takes you to the chopping block. That's it, game over. This is the ultimate betrayal, but it shouldn't have been a surprise. You ignored the warning signs. You believed you were different. This is exactly what happens in Black Swan events. A single event can completely reshape everything we thought we knew. The Black Swan phenomenon. The term Black Swan comes from Nassim Taleb's book, The Black Swan. The impact of the highly improbable. For centuries, people assumed all swans were white until they saw a black one. That one sighting forced them to rethink what they believed to be true. Black swans are rare, high-impact events that seem obvious after they happen, but are nearly impossible to predict beforehand. Our modern world is more vulnerable to these events than ever before. Why? Because we live in an extreme, unpredictable environment that rewards a small group of people with massive wealth, power, and influence, while everyone else struggles. Taleb categorizes this world into two systems: mediocristan and extremistan. Mediocristan versus extremistan. Imagine you weigh a few thousand people and include the heaviest person in the world, let's say 2,000 pounds. That extreme outlier barely affects the overall average. Taleb calls this world mediocristan, a place where outliers don't change much. Now imagine the same experiment, but with wealth. If you include just one billionaire in the sample, their wealth will completely overshadow everyone else's. This is extremistan, a world where a tiny number of outliers dominate everything. Our economy, media, and technology all function in extremistan. A few musicians sell millions of albums while most struggle. A handful of companies control the internet while others go unnoticed. Because of this, when something fails in extremistan, it fails big, and that's why Black Swan events hit us so hard. The illusion of predictability. People love to think they can predict the future, but reality doesn't work that way. When 9/11 happened, experts suddenly claimed they had seen it coming for years. But if they really knew, why weren't cockpit doors reinforced earlier? Why wasn't airport security stricter? Because nobody actually knew. This false sense of hindsight is a hallmark of Black Swan events. We convince ourselves we understand how things work. We think the stock market follows predictable patterns until something like the 2008 financial crash happens. We believe social stability is guaranteed until a major political uprising occurs. The more we think we have control, the more vulnerable we actually are. Why we are more vulnerable than ever modern technology and globalization make the world more interconnected, which means when something goes wrong, it affects everyone. Taleb gives a perfect example. In 2008, Pakistan tried to ban YouTube within its borders, but instead they accidentally took down YouTube worldwide. Or consider the power grid. In 1859, a massive solar storm, the Carrington event, disrupted telegraphs. If that same event happened today, it could wipe out satellites, power stations, and digital infrastructure, causing trillions of dollars in damage. The worst part? Scientists estimate there's a 12% chance of a similar event occurring in the next decade, and yet we've done almost nothing to prepare. So if we ignore major threats that we know are coming, imagine how unprepared we are for true black swans. Events we don't even see coming. How to protect yourself from black swans. The key is to stop assuming we can predict the future. Instead, we should prepare for uncertainty. Taleb suggests minimizing exposure to extreme risks. Diversify your investments. Don't put all your money in one place. Building resilience. Instead of relying on predictions, focus on adaptability. And flexibility, being skeptical of so-called experts. Just because someone claims they saw a crisis coming doesn't mean they actually did. Embracing randomness. The world is unpredictable. Instead of fearing it, use it to your advantage. So what can we learn from all this? Black swans are everywhere, and they can change everything in an instant. Instead of trying to predict the future, we should focus on adapting to it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think is the biggest black swan event of our time? And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.